We've recently lost our friend JD Napier. JD Napier was the blacksmith who made the world's largest anvil. JD was a true country gentleman, a very intelligent man. He never met a stranger, and if you met him, you felt like family in just a few minutes. We did 3 videos with JD. The last video we did, he was very sick. He was sick when he did the other videos with us. JD had been battling cancer for a long time. He had such a positive attitude, though, and he always kept planning future projects and things he wanted to do when he got better. We thought you might want to see all 3 of those videos, especially the first 2, because JD's still telling some great stories and talking about life and talking about his anvil in the first one. The first video has almost 1 million views, well over 500,000. It was widely accepted all over the world by a lot of folks, and that tickled JD to death, and he certainly deserved it. So we put all 3 of those videos together in one video, so if you want to, you can watch them all right here, or they're still available on YouTube separately, and we'll put links to those separately at the end of this video if you'd like to do that. But here is our complete JD Napier videos. I hope you enjoy watching the videos half as much as we enjoyed making them with JD.
Did you know this anvil weighs 6,500 pounds?
No kidding.
That's right. And you know another thing?
What?
I can move it with one finger.
You've been out in the sun too long, sweetie. Come sit down in the shade. Featured in the Harlan Daily Enterprise.
Or put pennies on the railroad track? Yeah. They'll make a penny about that big, but you don't want to run grab it. It'll burn a hole through you. Spray earth a 30-pound hammer.
Oh, my.
Yeah. We had a cousin, he and his wife dug graves for a living, and she come by and grabbed that thing, picked it up like you pick that little. I patted her, I said, I want to hire you to work for me. She said, I can swing that thing a little bit. I said, I know you can, after seeing you pick it up. Oh, we've had people come here as a hillbilly as me, but they'd talk so proper, you know, they'd trip over their tongue, you know.
Hey folks, we're in Bledsoe, Kentucky, in Harlan County at JD Napier's, and he is a genuine blacksmith, and JD is going to tell us about this giant anvil and tell us about blacksmithing in Harlan County. And folks, this is Mr. JD Napier, a genuine blacksmith right here in Harlan County, lives in Bledsoe, lives here his whole life, born next door. When you raised up next door, you was born at the
Pine Mountain Settlement School.
Pine Mountain, when they had a hospital there.
It had a hospital at that time, sure did.
Now, how long, Mr. Napier, have you been a blacksmith?
Since I've been 7 years old.
7 years old.
And I'm 73 right now.
Yeah, he's been a blacksmith. Wow. Well, tell us a little bit about it. Do you sell your stuff you make here?
We sell everything we make here.
Wow. Right here off your front porch.
Right off the front porch, 99% of it at least, you know.
We're going to show you around his place here in a minute, folks, because he has got a beautiful place. Got the water wheel out there, and got the anvil we're going to talk about, 6,500 pounds.
6,500
That's
pounds.
right. We're going to talk a little bit about that. What all do you make?
We do about 50 things in blacksmithing. We make hooks, we make ladles, copper and steel ladles, and so many I just can't think of it, you know. A whole bunch of stuff.
Horseshoes?
Make triangle dinner, but I made one horseshoe. Just to say that I did make them, you know. I done that at a craft show.
Gave a beautiful gift to my wife here.
Look what he gifted to me that I just will cherish forever. Look at this.
Look at that. Look how pretty the work
Look at
is
the
on that.
detail
Let
in
me
this.
get that in there. Look at that. Look how pretty that
It's
is.
twisted into, now you call this
That's
a
talented.
Rubik's Cube?
I call it a Rubik's Cube or a DNA twist.
Wow, that is
I first named it DNA, and then later on I found out it's called Rubik's Cube, you know. No, that'd probably hold up 100 pounds.
That is, you're not going to find that at the store.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you're not gonna find anything this strong at Walmart.
No, thank you, sir, so much. That really means a lot.
Now, JD's want to tell us a little bit about his life. Who taught you blacksmithing?
My grandfather, George W. Napier.
Wow. And you said he lived on the hill right here
He
behind
lived
us?
on the hill right up there.
Right
Now tell
there.
me the story when you was a little boy. You
When I
seen
was a
the
little
smoke?
boy, about 6 and 7 years old, 7 probably, I'd see the smoke up on the hill there. I'd let off a running and I wouldn't stop till I got this blacksmith shop. Now, we had other cousins also, but now their grandfather was a stonemason. So they wasn't interested in the blacksmithing, they was interested in the stonemason, you know. So I was the only one in the whole family interested in
So
the
you
black.
took a great love
I took a great love for the blacksmith.
and you never just stopped.
Yeah.
So you've did it since you're 7 years old with a few
I
breaks.
assisted him, I helped him.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would watch the fire, mend the fire, and get the steel good and hot and get it out for him. Help him
Wow.
hold it, and while he'd hit it with a hammer, you know.
That is amazing.
With a few breaks and going to the big city to make a better living. You said you went to Chicago for a while.
Went to Chicago for a year or so, a couple of different times. Then I went to Indianapolis for a year or so, you know. Now, I liked Indianapolis better because I could, it was pretty close to the country. I could get out and fish and stuff like that. Chicago, all you do there is drink and party, and that's it. You don't work, you know. So
Yeah. Right. Party and work.
yeah.
So you just didn't stay long. You just had to come
Yeah,
back.
I'd save every time I could and stay about a year up there, and then I get so
Just get
homesick.
back home, did you?
I get so homesick I'd about die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mountains call you back home. What?
That's
Calling
the
me
same
home,
stories I
buddy.
heard my dad say about Michigan. He had to get back home.
Yeah.
You may leave Harlan, but you know what? A lot of time they come back.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can take the boy out of the mountains, but you can't take the
Yeah.
mountains out of the boy.
Exactly right.
Harlan,
That's
Bledsoe,
it.
whatever. You know, just got to get back to these mountains.
Well, Mr. Napier, if you feel like it, let's go out here and look at this anvil and this water wheel. You put this wheel together
Yeah.
from scratch.
Takes 2 pounds to turn the wheel.
2 pounds. Turn
2
the wheel.
pounds of water will turn it.
Well, let's go out here, folks, and take a look. Now, Mr. Napier is going to tell us how this little bitty anvil turned into this 6,500 pound anvil.
Right.
You want to tell us how you did that?
We took a flashlight and put behind this, and on a dark wall, you could stretch it, make it bigger like a projection thing. So when we seen that would work, then we took this 199 pound one and done the same procedure. Then we put it on a big screen TV box or some kind of big box, you know. And then that gave me my template for the big anvil, you know.
So you made this anvil with your own hands.
Well, me and 7 more welders.
7 more
Me and
welders.
7 more welders.
It
yeah.
took a few.
Yeah. Well, they'd all quit on me. They'd get tired and quit, you know. I'd give them about a month, and then I'd start calling them back, and they'd say,
Yeah.
well, we're out of money. We'll be over, you know. So, yeah, they'd kind of have to run out of money before they'd come back again, you know. But now we worked them all about 7 hours a day, and then I'd go get them something to eat down at the restaurant. So we'd feed them and then pay them $100 a day for 7 hours, you know, which is about $15 an hour, you know.
Yeah.
And most of them done a real good job, real good, you know. Now cutting out the anvil, we had 2 people that done that. The pieces to make it, it's laminated, like pieces of plywood. So we took we went through 2 tanks of oxygen a day, and 5 tanks of oxygen a day and 2 tanks of acetylene. So we went through the material.
Wow. That's
And the dealer right then, a lot of times he'd just have 1 or 2 tanks. He'd say, buddy, I can let you have 2, you know, and that's all I got, you know. So, yeah.
wow.
But this one turns too, like that on the magnet there. Yeah.
Did you know this anvil weighs 6,500 pounds?
No kidding.
That's right. And you know another thing?
What?
I can move it with 1 finger.
You've been out in the sun too long, sweetie. Come sit down in the shade. Oh my goodness.
So what was you telling me that you had fixed on this, that it would just go around by just touch your finger?
Yeah, you can
I
take
got
your
to see
finger and
this.
push it right around
Okay,
and
I'd like
around.
to see this because you said
Oh,
it weighs
yeah, we gotta
6,500.
see this.
So
Yeah.
6,500 pounds.
6,500. Whew.
Watch this, folks. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah.
6,500 pounds.
You can move with one finger. That's made out of D9 counterweights. So they weighed a ton each before you done anything to them. And we had two real good torchmen here that cut them down into shape. They all the time say, JD, if we cut off too much, we'll weld her. I said, no, it costs too much money to put that back. I said, we've got it, let's not cut it off. Let's keep it because we're going to need it, you know. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what it's made out of, is bulldozer counterweights.
Bulldozer counterweights.
Now,
Wow.
Off the old
how did
D9G
you,
model.
how did you come
D9Gs.
up with the ideal to get this baby to spin around?
One guy stopped here and I had it on a big jack. And
Uh-huh.
you just take your finger and move it any way you want to. He said, JD, why don't you put a turntable on that thing? I
Oh,
said,
that's
buddy,
the
you
best
just cost me
idea
a fortune,
ever.
but I said, that's what I'm gonna do. So we wound up about $1,500 in that little turntable.
So what's the turntable made out of?
It's a big old, we got a piece of steel about that big, about 1 inch thick, and bearings in under it.
Big old bearings, huh?
Big bearings, yeah.
It would have to be to hold this
Oh, yeah,
big
yeah.
mama up. It's big, I'm telling you.
The fella that made that for me in a machine shop, he
Uh-huh.
said it'd probably hold up twice that much. We've had several motorcycle gangs like that went through here a while ago, pulled in and stopped, and some of the ladies got out and modeled on that thing. I said, boy, I hope my wife don't stick her head out here right now. Oh, man.
Oh, I see.
I hope she stays in the
No, that's a
house.
good story.
Right. They'd get a whooping, wouldn't they?
That's a
Now,
good story.
they would
when I-
model, you know. I mean, they'd do shots, you know.
I gotta
Kind of
move it
glamour
now.
shots on that thing, you know.
Wow.
Folks, you can feel that it's 6,500 pounds when you move it. It's easy to move, but you can feel how heavy it is. Now, you have tried to get this certified as the world's largest anvil.
Right, right.
So, folks, we need to work on that, man. We need to get this anvil certified as the world's largest anvil because I don't think there is one larger.
We contacted Guinnesses, or friends of mine did, and they wanted to come here and me pay for motels, their food, and all that stuff, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so I
and
didn't
me
know
to
that
hire a
about
truck
that.
to go get it weighed, you know, and bring it back, and you know, run into about $2,000 what
Wow.
they wanted to do, or
so
more.
you have to pay Guinness for doing that.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, you put this water wheel together by scratch here, didn't you?
Yeah,
You
we
said-
put it together in pieces.
In pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the photos.
Now,
It's
you
all
said it
steel.
took 2 pounds of water to move
2
it?
pounds of water will turn it right now, even.
Now, the water's coming out of the top up there, is it, on it?
Right on the other side,
Yeah.
you can see
Oh,
it.
yeah, well, I'll go on the other side there and look.
It comes up that hollow there, 1,100 feet.
Wow.
Gravity fed. It falls 80 feet from the top of the dam, where it comes out at the dam, to down to here. And I surveyed that myself, yeah. And I had to do it 2 or 3 times just to make sure I had it right, yeah.
You build this little cabin?
We had the timbers, like the timbers we got out there, I notched them in. What's called the Appalachian half dovetail notch. And then that little one I built for my mom and dad up there, we done a way better job on here. Here's the second one, you know. These are a start on the hoe shanks.
That's what you make what?
That's what we make the hoe shanks with. To hold the hose, yeah. There's one a little farther down the road. As you can see, I do one on each end. That way we double production on stuff.
So when you got that fire going, you got it real hot, you gotta hit it fast.
Oh,
right?
hit it fast, yeah, because
Gotta
it
be quick.
cools down real quick, yeah.
Oh.
David made me this. That's a little propane forge,
Uh-huh.
and it'll melt steel down. I mean, it does a terrific job.
So that was made, sir?
David
He
made
made
that
that?
and brought it over and gave it to me.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
David, that's great.
yeah, yeah.
That's something else.
Yeah, I said, man, I'll buy that. He said, no, you won't. I'm going to give it to you.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
So now you're talking about what I guess you'd call your apprentice, David Brock.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, now that's what it's going to be if we headed to Tennessee, you know, my apprentice.
yeah.
Because that's kind of the way they wanted the master blacksmith
yeah.
and the helper apprentice, you know, kind
Yeah.
of. just like you go to Dollywood right
Yeah.
now, Sevierville, you know.
So this is like your new propane one you was talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
And,
It's
this
got
is
3
your,
burners.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And this is your like your old one you've used.
That's the old one you put the coal in.
Oh, so that's a cold one.
Only
Wow.
thing about the coal, when you put it in there and start that far, you can't stop and talk.
Yeah.
You just have to keep right on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
once
and
you
this-
build a fire, it's
Yeah,
about
it's
5 hour deal.
And
this
this-
year you can work 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 hours, whatever you want to.
Wow.
So this is your actual working anvil that you work
That's the
on.
one
right
I work
here.
on. That's a 402 pound hay button.
Wow.
In 1988, that thing was valued at $2,600.
402 pounds.
Yeah, I don't know what it'd be valued now. But that's the man that wrote the book on my anvil.
Do you know what you call a man that can pick up a 402 pound
Well, now,
anvil?
we've had 2 or 3 can pick that up.
Oh my
Sir,
Yes,
that's what you
sir.
call a man that can pick up a
I
400
know.
pound anvil,
You
sir.
just call a man that you don't want to mess with. Yeah. It's hoe handle time when you come
Yeah.
into that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Now, how
actually,
many garden hose did you say you'd made?
I made 1,875 over the years.
Wow. Well, Mr. Napier, you got a beautiful place here.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank
Oh, and you do woodwork too. We'll show some pictures of your bowls and stuff
Well,
you made.
we haven't done that in quite a while.
But you have done that.
Quite a while, yeah.
I was looking at those photos. They were just incredible.
And what's that? Is that the what you work with? Your steel you work with
That's
there?
the steel we work with. There's a blade to the hoe.
All right.
Wow.
That's a litibidium. And then here's one for the bigger ones, you know.
Yeah.
If we come out thin a little bit,
Yeah.
we just put a little blade on it.
Oh.
If it's real good and thick, then we put a heavy duty
yeah.
blade on it, you know. But now we've never had nobody to break one using it or what have you. They have run over them with a truck or something like that, and yeah,
That
and
don't count.
broke the handle off of them, you
That
know.
ain't wood.
Yeah.
That ain't working.
Yeah.
So they last longer than Walmart hose.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I know I've got people that's had my holes. See, before I started counting, I've done several holes, and that's been about 40 years ago, and there's people still got them holes,
Wow.
and they use them every year in a garden. Yeah.
So you like working with the
Oh, a gas forge, yeah. If you have a lot of company like that gang of motorcycles went through here,
Yeah.
you can stop and talk to them, you know.
yeah.
Where the other forge, you can't hardly do that.
Once you
just-
got your heat going and that, you
Yeah,
got
you gotta stay with it. Yeah, gotta stay with it. That's the one we do all the flattening out with.
Oh my, that's
Yeah.
very heavy.
Oh, it'll wear you out now.
Oh,
Yeah,
honey, I
yeah.
bet. Get
Oh,
some
you swing that
muscles.
hammer, sweetie.
So this is what
Let me see.
does the work.
I got to see you using that hammer. So that's your hammer.
I bet you get some muscles.
You ready to go to blacksmith school?
Now, actually, we've got a 30-pound hammer in there too in the building.
So this is the one that you do all your
All
work
the
on.
blacksmith work on everything I do on it. Yeah.
Wow.
Except I do a little show out Pine Mountain or something, then I take a smaller one maybe.
So you do go to the festivals
I do that every now
sometimes?
and then, yeah. Go out there or something, you know.
Wow.
yeah. But since then, they bought a whole bunch of anvils and stuff, so they set up pretty good now, you know. I wouldn't have to take nothing
won't
out.
have-
So they got it all
This.
ready for you. Just
Yeah, they
take
got
your
it-
talent and go.
Got it ready for it, yeah.
Hey, what is this that you've got wrapped up right here?
That's a buffer. What you
That
buffer,
makes
bring a
it
mirror
smooth
finish
it.
on steel,
So it smooths
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
like the
down.
knives I make. When I want to bring a mirror finish on them, that's what I go to.
So there's a lot of
You,
steps
you
to
put a
the-
compound on there
Uh-huh.
and then turn it on, and it goes on to the
Smooth it out.
Yeah,
get all
smooth
the
it out.
thickness
Right,
out.
right.
So what all kinds of steel do you use to make these things? What
Well, we make a lot of railroad spike knives, a lot of those. Yeah, there's a 30-pound hammer.
Oh,
There's a
my.
30-pound hammer. Oh my goodness, a 30-pound hammer.
When we were beating on the
Let's
anvil,
see.
the guys, I had 7 of them here to help me beat on it.
Yeah.
They said, JD, go in there and get the biggest hammer you got. I drug
Oh,
that thing
my
out.
goodness.
They grabbed it and hit 2 or 3 They said, you don't put that up, we're going
Well, this
home.
thing was 29 and a half pounds lighter. I'd be able to handle it for you.
Oh my goodness.
You want to try that, sugar?
Oh, I don't think so.
You don't?
No, I'm good.
We had a cousin, he and his wife dug graves for a living, and she come by and grabbed that thing, picked it up like you pick that
Oh,
little.
my.
I patted her. I said, I want to hire you to work for me. She said, I can swing that thing a little bit. I said, I know you can after seeing you pick it up. But if that don't send them home, nothing will. I tell everybody to pick it up, not to drop it on their toes, because that'd be the end of the toes. Now, up there's some old time tools.
I was looking at
Right.
that right there.
There's
What is
edges.
that?
There's edges and drawn knives up there that go back to 1700 and something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Those big wide ones there,
Yeah.
big wide edges. Yeah. And that drawn knife that over there is about a 1785 somewhere through there.
Wow.
Yeah. And this axe right here's got the date on his. It's 1837. That bottom one.
Yeah, that bottom axle.
And now the top one is a broad axe. I've used it quite a bit.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a hole that my grandfather made back in his days.
That big wide one?
Yeah.
JD, what is this? I looked up there. What is that?
Right there.
Yes.
That's a thing they used around the little sawmills to get cants off, you know,
Yeah.
and then cross ties.
Yeah.
Cross ties.
It's got the hooks
You can
on
get a
it.
man on each side of that and you can grab a cross tie and run with it, you know.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, look here. At the Pepsi plant.
Yeah. My uncle made that, my Uncle Kelly. Yeah. Oh, he made hundreds of those things. He'd go to these festivals and sell
Yeah.
them there for
Yeah.
$40 or something a piece,
Yeah.
fast as he could
Yeah.
bring them out. Yeah.
JD, you was telling us about the axle coming off of a coal truck and flying through
Axle come off the coal truck. My daughters is just getting ready to come outside for the bus, to catch the bus, so they've been standing right where that thing hit, you know.
Right on in
And
through
it would
there.
have killed them now, I'm telling you.
Wow.
Because it's both back tires and the whole back end assembly.
Wow.
You know, man, I'm telling you. Well, it stopped clear down my dad's place, clear down there.
Wow.
That's where it actually rested one
Boy,
time.
it's a miracle nobody got hurt with
Oh,
that.
man, I'm telling you. Yeah. Scared me to death.
I bet
know
it
my
did.
daughters are getting ready to get on that bus, you know, and oh, it scared me. That day we was on TV and everything. On Mountain News, yeah.
It's on-
Now, JD has been featured in the Harlan Daily Enterprise. Harlan Enterprise now, it was actually a daily paper then. And on Mountain News, trying to get this anvil certified as the world's record anvil, which looking at it, certainly it is. If there's a bigger one, please send us a picture of it. I'd like to see it and hear about it.
Yes.
There are some bigger ones, but they hollow.
Hollow.
They
oh.
hollow. They not
Okay,
the, not
so
the
this
rim
is a
accord.
solid
That's
anvil.
solid piece, one end to the other. No hollow places in it.
6,500 pounds. So yeah. So if there is a bigger solid one that weighs more than this,
Let us know.
let us know.
Yeah.
Because this should really be certified as the world's largest solid working. If it's solid, it'd be a working anvil if you had to work it. Yeah. So
that's
yeah,
what
this,
we actually made it for, to work.
Yeah.
You know,
this is a working anvil.
2 of my welders has passed away that I was wanting to get here
Yeah.
and do an all-day thing with them, or have dinner, you know, and
Yeah.
everything,
Yes. Well,
and wanting to feature them, you know. Yeah,
I'm sorry about
wanting
that.
to salute them, you know, kind of.
Yeah.
But now their name is in that paper,
Oh,
though.
you got their
yeah.
names?
Yeah, so
Okay,
they
all
are.
right.
They are all of them in that paper
Well,
there.
that's good. And you said Mountain News interviewed you?
Mountain News interviewed me. Yeah. We have had 1 or 2 people called from different places, Owensboro or somewhere down in there, wanted me to give them a price on it. And I said I'm afraid to.
Go there.
The only thing stops it from being certified, he tells us, is the Guinness people wanted their expenses covered. They
Their
wanted
expenses.
a hotel room. They wanted him to pay for the truck to take it and have it weighed.
Get it weighed
And
in
I,
certified scales, you'd have to go to Middlesboro to
yeah.
do that.
Well, I challenge these people. I know with all the books they sell, the Guinness Book World Records. I know with all the books they sell. I know with the money they have, they could cover the expenses themselves. I challenge them to come down here and certify this anvil.
Yeah.
Hey, Guinness, are you afraid of it? Is that what you are? Are you afraid of this anvil? Get down here and certify it. Well, JD is a blacksmith, but apparently nearby lives a carpenter.
So you get quite a few visitors that stops by around spring. You get a lot of visitors.
Oh
in
yeah,
spring that
motorcycles,
stop
I've had them
by.
lined up
Yeah.
here from one end to the other.
Motorcycles.
Yeah, stopped
Yeah.
on the, come over on the porch, talk with me, and yeah.
Kinda
Several of them were welders. They said, man, if we'd known you'd been doing this, we'd been over and wouldn't charge you a dime, you know. I said, oh.
So you get quite a few visitors
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
kind of
and
a
also the
landlord.
missionaries.
Yes.
The missionaries that do
Yeah.
work on houses for the poor people and the elderly and stuff.
Yes.
They stop by
And do
here.
they bring their groups to
Yeah,
get
they bring their
educated
whole
upon
groups.
this?
They call me ahead.
Well,
Say, JD would like to come visit you. People
Well.
want to see that big anvil, you know.
well,
So they call ahead. And now all of them's Christian people.
Yeah.
So, you know, they all pray with you. And
Yeah.
I said, if any of you all preachers, just go ahead and preach if you want to.
Well, that's wonderful.
Oh, we've had people come
Play
here
music.
as a hillbilly as me, but they'd talk so proper, you know, they'd trip over their tongue, you know.
you know, people's losing that accent.
Yeah,
They
lo-
really are.
losing this Appalachian accent, you know.
With all the computers and
Right.
internet and everything, a lot of the new generation's losing the accent. They don't.
My
talk
daughters
like we
correct
do.
me pretty regular on these old time sayings, yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, if I don't do them, they're going to be lost forever,
Yeah.
you know.
It's sad though. I mean, it's a language to actually be proud
Yeah.
of.
Used to sit down, we call it have you a sot. Have you a sot.
Well, JD, thanks for having us. We actually came here and we got to talking to JD on.
Just enjoy
yeah.
ourselves.
We kind of forgot we came to do a
Well,
video.
that's what I
friends.
wanted today. Whether we done any
Yeah.
videoing or not, I
really
wanted it to be a
enjoyed
good
talking to you.
conversation, us
It's
learning
been-
from each other.
Yeah, we
you
got to talking to him for about an hour and a half, and then remembered we were supposed to do a video.
Yes.
They're sitting on the porch, and folks, anybody not from the mountains that's never visited on the porch, this is where people used to sit and how they used to visit when I was a kid here in these mountains. They'd come and they'd sit on the porch all day long, especially if they was coming from out of town coming in to visit.
Right.
Sit and talk. Somebody go and get, you know, if the kids was lucky and they was poor like me, somebody'd go and get like a carton of a Coca-Cola. And when I say a carton of Coca-Cola, I mean the old wooden one
Oh, yeah.
with the bottles in it.
Yeah.
And everybody sit on the porch and good times. You know, I don't think people knows what they're missing now.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I think my first quarter, I went to my aunt's place and they had a little store, and her son gave me a quarter, and I got me a couple of RCs and a knee-high pop maybe, and then there's just 6 cents each or 5 cents, you
Yeah.
know.
My goodness.
And I got sick on that. I drunk so much. Yeah. And a candy bar. I got a big old
Oh,
Milky
yeah,
Way candy
yeah.
bar or something.
Oh,
buddy.
I've done that.
Oh, I
Is
got plumb sick.
you
I'm
go,
telling you.
yeah, you go so long without it,
Yeah.
and you finally get the money to get it, you're gonna make yourself sick.
Right, I couldn't. I told him, I said, man, that's the most money I ate. He said, well, you just take and go in there and get what you want with it, you know.
We certainly have enjoyed
That
talking
quarter
to
looked
you.
like it's that big, you know, I tell you.
Well, JD, it's been a pleasure talking with you. You're like an old friend.
Well, I've enjoyed you all.
Yep, you sit
I
down.
don't feel like a stranger at all.
Sure.
You sit down, and it's like you sit down with an old friend. Well, sweetheart, did you like our visit with JD Napier, Harlan County's very own blacksmith here in Bledsoe?
I didn't like it. I loved it.
You didn't like it, you loved it. Well, I did too. I want to tell y'all, I have met maybe 2 or 3 people in my life that made me feel so welcome, so fast, and so at ease. You sit down this man's porch, and in 30 seconds, you'll feel like you've known him for 30 years.
He's so sweet.
Yes, he is. He is. He's a knowledgeable man, and boy, I tell you, he tells some good mountain stories. He sure does.
He sure does.
We appreciate you for inviting us to your home.
Yeah, it's been an honor.
Oh, it's an honor for us. Now, what do we say at the end of these videos, sweetheart?
Bye.
Bye.
When I was young, I ginsenged a
I
lot.
bet you was good at that.
I was pretty good. Now I found one bunch that weighed 13 3/4 ounces. It was 4 prongs growed on
Yeah.
one quirl. I mean, that about drove everybody crazy around me, buddy. Yeah. I feel like a 20-year-old man, you know. I feel so
Yeah, and y'all keep up doing what y'all doing, and the Lord will bless you in it.
Folks, we have had so many people want to see some more of JD Napier, the man who built this anvil. It was one of our biggest videos, really had a great response to it, a great response to JD. So we're back at JD's house to talk to him again today and tell him about the response we got to the video. Let's go sit down on the porch and talk to JD a while. Now, JD, we was telling you when we first got here about the incredible response we had to the video and all the nice things people have said about you. If you wanted to say anything back at them, here's your change.
Oh, I thank God for each and every one of them. I absolutely do. And I wish they all could come by and visit me sometime. Yeah.
And I'm sure the ones that can will. You've done already been getting some, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Quite a few already.
People stopping by.
And he's got lots of orders, right?
Yeah,
On
yeah.
hose and
On hose mostly.
mostly hose.
But now if I had 100 of those hooks, I could probably sell them within probably a week and a half or maybe less, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody stops wants to know if I've got something there, you know. I said, I'm out of everything, you know. Said, well, we've seen a hook on the video or something there, you know, so yeah. Yeah, we went to Green Hill School out there, about just the other side of the Dollar General store out there, the Family Dollar store, yeah. But now then it was like 4 rooms there, you know, and then later they bought an old building or two and moved them in, fixed them up. And what I remember very well, they had a carpenter, and he was married to one of the school teachers, but he had one arm off. And I mean, it was off good, you know. And now he is about one of the best carpenters you ever laid your eyes on. Yeah.
Wow.
One arm, yeah.
Now, you was telling us about the, my wife asked you before we turned the cameras on about the bathrooms at the school.
Oh, yeah. They were 2-seaters for the boys and the ladies, you know, for the men and the ladies, you know. Outhouses, right? Outhouses. Oh, 2 separate outhouses. Yeah. Ladies and then a man, you know. Yeah.
What was you telling us about Mark Twain?
Oh, yeah. He said if the world were to come to an end, said I'd like to be somewhere in Kentucky. Said at least you would have 30 more days to get ready or whatever, you know. Said time the word got to Kentucky, said yeah. Yeah, that was when they was trying to unionize. What the main man, John L. Lewis. They was off, I think he might have been in that crew. Awfulest bunch there ever was. And my dad he worked for a guy that had an old timber truck. And they've been busy of taking timbers to the mine about a load a week, you know. And old man got up there at that bridge at Benham there, and they stopped him right in the middle of the road. And they said, listen, we're going to baptize you in the name of John L. Lewis. And hey, you look out there 200 or 300 men, what can you do? I mean, if you say anything smart, they're going to jerk you out anyway, you know.
And he didn't even have any idea what was going on.
He didn't know, we had no way of knowing. There was one telephone in this whole community then. And it was about a mile out the road, you know, yeah. But it was the only one in the whole community, you know. And I think mostly it was just reserved for forest fires and things of that nature, you know. Something like that, but he couldn't say nothing. But now the superintendent there happened to know him and recognize him and seen him. He said, boys, said, let this man go. Said he didn't know nothing about what was going on here, nothing about the strike. Said he didn't have no way of knowing nothing about this. And says he won't be back no more till it gets over with, you know. And they asked him, they said, Mr. Napier, if we let you go, will you be back in here? He said, no, sir, I will not come back. No. To this. Yeah. So that got him out of being baptized, you know, in the creek there. Yeah.
I like that story.
He was a night watchman for Straight Creek Mine in there several years, and the big strike, that was when 77. I believe it's 77, you know, there at Leonard and them places there, they had that big one, you know. Yeah. And what the country music singer come in here. Yeah. And he was night watching up there on the Straight Creek mining job, and the main boss come up and told him, said, now Mr. Napier, if that bunch comes here and wants in this gate, said you lock them out and don't let them in. Old man just reached in the key and said, you lock them out. Said, I'll go on home. Said, you lock them out. Said, you think I can stand here and tell 200 or 300 men to get out of here? Said, hey, You tell them to get out of here. Old man was pretty sharp on things of that nature.
So you was telling me you lost your wife about a year ago?
About a year and 2 weeks ago or so. Yeah.
How long were y'all married?
We were married about 41 years, I think. Yeah.
So you got how many kids?
Tim's actually my stepson, but I've raised him since he's been about 5. I don't even like to use the word step, you know. I just don't.
So you got him and 2 girls?
2 girls, yeah.
So
yeah.
3. What kind of stuff you like to eat? You like catfish from Don's?
I love catfish from Don's on Friday. I'm almost there every Friday at 11:30.
Honey, I do too.
You know who sends me out there and likes that fish? My daddy.
How about that?
He
Yeah.
loves that catfish from Don's.
Now, folks,
Yes.
they're talking about, if you're not from around Harlan, Dunn Super Saver across from Walmart in Harlan, they have a deli, and on Friday they have some good catfish. If you're in Harlan on Friday, stop and try it out.
Well, now I get them at Don's every now and then, the rotisserie chickens, and I eat about half of it and give the other half to the cats, you know. Time I eat half of it, I'm pretty well burned out
How
on
many
it, you
little
know.
cats you got?
I got 2. That and then that one's got a bunch of little ones somewhere. I've been watching her, trying to see where she's going, you know, and now she will try to bite you, so be careful there, yeah. Or she does Tim anyway. I got an old male cat that's a black one that I've had forever. So I've raised it since he was a little kitten, you know. I've had it forever and ever.
They keep you.
But now it stays gone most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep those males
yeah,
on.
tomcat, you know.
So you said the doctor gave you a good report the other day?
A real good report,
That is
yeah.
wonderful.
Well, that's
So, now what was that? I was trying to tell him. What was it you've been battling with?
Non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Non-Hodgkin
And how long you been doing
lymphoma.
treatments?
We've been getting treatments for about 3 years. Yeah.
So how long you got to keep doing it?
I don't know. He's not giving me no quit time on it, you know.
Well,
One of my buddies had the infusion, and he said he had to go for a year and a half. But I believe I've done really went that long, probably,
yeah,
you know.
you've been doing it for 3
But
years.
I'll keep on doing it, you know.
But
long
you
as
did
it's-
get a good report, so praise the Lord for that.
Yeah.
Thank God, gave a good report.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of folks watches your video.
Because I don't think no
We'll be
one
happy.
knew that. And
Yeah, the
No.
worst thing about it down there, you see a lot of people, it's really bad shape,
yes.
and they don't have nobody to drive them, nobody at home. And man, I don't know how they get home, you know, because I'd be lucky to make it to Pine Bladder, one of them treatments, you
JD,
know.
you're always in good spirits and you're always just
Yeah.
so,
And
I don't know. Yes. I mean, you just amaze me.
Well, one woman told me it said it's the spirit within you that
Well, I
that
remember,
keeps you young.
I know when we were sitting here talking, you told me that you never hardly felt bad. And I'm
Never,
like,
ever,
wow.
ever. No,
That's
no.
amazing.
No, used
That
to
is-
hurt in here, something awful, you
Oh.
know. You'd just run around, you'd see me run around holding myself like that a lot of times,
Yeah.
you know.
When you do your infusions, does it you have side effects to that? Or,
You just come home real tired for about 3 days, you know.
but other than that, you're doing really
Other than
good.
that, yeah.
Wow.
I can eat anything I want, and it just don't.
Doctor gave you a good report.
I was just
Yeah.
happy to say he never has he says he always feels good. He always has, health-wise, he feels real good. That's really great to hear.
I feel like a 20-year-old man, you know. I feel so
Wow.
good. It's just unreal how good I feel, you know. But I feel great, but just don't have no strength. That's the thing. That's the killer right there.
The strength
No
thing,
strength. If I walk here to that truck, or I'm zapped, and my
Aw.
oxygen level and all
sitting
that's really
still, sitting
good.
down, you just feel really good. But just to get up and
Yeah,
about, you
just
think,
get
"Oh,
up
that
and
is
about,
right."
I knock out real quick. Yeah.
But you want to try them when you get some steel.
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
gonna
feel
fart
good.
up.
Okay.
Before you forage up.
I'll definitely give you a call.
But now, don't rush nothing. But
Yeah.
when you're feeling good and feeling like and get it going, we'll do a video of it.
Oh, that would really
See you
help.
do it, but
That would
take your
really
time.
help. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of orders.
Yeah.
Got a lot
yeah.
of orders. He's got back orders too.
You know what? I've never been able to get a hold of my hose handle supplier.
Really?
I've not been. I've called him all different hours.
Well, folks, right there, if anybody watches this video, knows where he can hook up with some good quality hoe handles for his hose, help us out.
Yeah,
Give
man.
us a comment, and we will tell JD about it. And we're going to give y'all some content. We've had letters wanting to do business with him,
Letters.
talk to him.
Yes.
Had messages wanting to, emails. So we've got contact information now. JD's gave us his card, so y'all will be able to get contact information, get in contact with him yourself now. But yeah, if you know anywhere he can get those hoe handles to make those hoes with, somebody help us out down there.
Oh, that lady and her husband was here yesterday. They had their grandson with them. He went crazy over the Rubik's Cube. Said he's the reason why we hear more than anything. Said he
Yes.
wanted one of those things, you know.
Wow.
And
So they came from Ohio?
yeah.
Wow.
Hey folks, while we're sitting here talking, one of JD's friends come by, Tony, and he is an accomplished musician. Says he plays about everything. If it can be played, you can play it, can't you, Tony?
Yes, I can.
And he's a
Love
great
to hear
guy.
that.
Great guy, one of JD's good friends, and a great guy. And he was over at the neighbor's house doing some work, it looks like. All the time we sitting here, they had him working over there, didn't they, Tony?
A little bit.
Well, it's great meeting you, Tony. And
Yeah, and y'all keep up doing what y'all doing, and the Lord will bless you in it.
Yes,
oh, he has.
absolutely.
He has. Meeting people like JD and you, we're blessed.
I taught
That's
myself
our
the
blessing.
music. I play by ear.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Well, now, I used to love them things, and I got one of them little pecans hung in something in there, and it
That
gave me
was
the
nice.
hiccups, I think, 8 straight days. And gnats, I mean, that about drove everybody crazy around me, buddy. About drove. I went to Dr. Smith Harrod, gave him $10, I believe it was, a visit then. He'd raised it a little bit, but anyway, he prescribed me something at Creek's drugstore, and I went down and got that, and I didn't have a bit of confidence in it. I put paper bags over my head and everything, what everybody said to do, you know. But I took one little drink of that, and the hiccups left. Now, it wasn't bad to drink, too. It's kind of sweet.
Now you grew up over there. You was born up at Pine Mountain Settlement School,
Right, and raised up
at
right
the
up
hospital up there, and raised
And,
up right there in that house next door.
Yeah, there's 7 of us, 7 children there, so, and it's only a 2-bedroom, so you can imagine it.
So I guess that's 3.5 children in each room, wouldn't it?
And we've had water to freeze right behind the stove, you know, no
Oh, my
cold stove.
goodness.
Yeah.
JD, you said I didn't. I don't remember the first video we made of you telling us how long that took. You said that it took probably 15, 16 years counting the time to make the anvil.
Counting the time together, the steel and everything, get everything together.
And then it
At first, I had a supply of 2-inch steel, 2.5, and I didn't want to go that route because there's twice or 3 times more welding, you know. So I just waited, and a little bit later on, some 6-inch stuff come through. So I said, that's what I want. So it was at Hignite Hill at down Middlesboro country. Yeah. Back there on the strip job, 2 or 3 old dozers had broke down. And this guy, they give them to him or sold them to him for about nothing to scrap out, you know.
Yeah.
So I got talking to one of my buddies. He lived up in the holler then. He said, buddy, my son's getting ready to cut some D9s up. And said, I think they still got them big counterweights right on the back of them things. I said, don't tell them not to cut them so I can check with him, you know, on that. Yeah, so we went, I think I went down there and saw them. I said, hey, I'll take them every one, you know. And see, he had 5 of them, I think, yeah. 5 or 6, and I said, buddy, I'll take every one of them. I said, he said, I've got a ton truck, I can haul a couple, 3 at a time, you know. But he said, that's about all I can haul. But now he brought them things and had them all loaded on one side. And man, I'm telling you, that truck looked like that. It looked like every tar on that one side was going to blow out for it. Oh man. If it'd even them up, it would have handled it good, but now all on that one side. Now, thing about that, I think about another day, it was giving a big snowstorm. So we was racing against everything, the snowstorm, time, and, you know, everything. I had the money, had to save back forever there, you know.
And then it took you how many years to get it done once you started on it?
Well, once we started, about 5 years. About 5 years.
Yep. Now, how did you, I don't think I asked you in the first video, how did you get the idea? What made you wake up one morning and say, I want to build the world's
Buddy, I
biggest
tell you
anvil?
what, I went everywhere looking for big anvils.
You
And
did.
when I would get there, they wouldn't even show them to me. Wouldn't even let me look at them. I'd drive a half a day in them backwoods somewhere, you know. Wouldn't even let me look at them, you know. And I guess they had thieves amongst them there, and afraid I'd come back and steal it or rearrange for it to be stealed, you know. But stolen, you know. But anyway, I went down to Lancaster, Kentucky, and the guy had one that weighed. Let's see, he didn't have one when I got there. All he had said, I got the picture. So he gave me the picture, and I said, I can give that back to you sometime, you know. But a 1,000-pound one and an 800-pound one. Now, if I could have bought either one of them, I would have been content.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't even made the big one, you know. But now when I went home, I got to thinking about it, and I said, I'm running myself to death and spending enough money till I could make a big one, you know. So we let in on that, and let in, got the stuff together and let in on it, you know. And what we done is I had a little thing here that we had a roof bolt on and had a crook on it, and I could put bungee cords on that onto my big grinders, and I could go to sleep a grinding. People come about fight me for them grinders. They didn't know what to think about how easy they were. And they said, man, I tell you, said you the king of the grinders, whatever it is, you know. Yeah. But now anyway, I'd hook that bungee cord up. When you wanted to let it down, you just let it down a notch or two on the chain. And go right on down, you know. And you could actually mill the steel off like a milling machine.
Wow.
So you've got strategies and way of doing
Yeah.
things that's just so intelligent. Like
Yeah, he's got a way of
no
thinking
one
a
can
problem
think
out.
of how to do. I mean, it's just
man.
amazing.
I tell you, when you get people fighting for a big 9-inch Makito grinder, hey, you come up with something now, I'm going to tell you. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful job, beautiful work on
Yes.
it. It just, it looks perfect.
Well, now on that, and we particularly done it to suit myself.
That's
I
for
said
you.
I
That's for
do.
your pleasure.
I
That-
said I
just
do want a
how-
big feet on that thing, a big footprint, and I
Yes.
said I want it heavy to where it, you know, it'll. I said that's been a problem with me over the anvils over the years, and be too light on the bottom,
Yeah.
and try to dance and walk, you know. So I said this thing I want to do just like a dream anvil kind of.
Yeah.
That one ain't going nowhere.
It's not going nowhere.
You ever ginseng these mountains?
Do what?
You ever go ginsening when you was young?
When I was young, I ginsenged a
I bet
lot.
you was good at that.
I was pretty good.
I went with
I
my
tell
daddy
you.
quite a bit.
Yeah. Now I found one bunch that weighed 13 3/4 ounces. It was 4 prongs growed
Yeah.
on one quirl.
I've seen them
And
like
I
that.
mean, it was a monster too.
Yeah.
And that was weighed on the scales. That wasn't just somebody saying,
I
yeah.
know cousin. He probably still goes in the mountains.
Yeah. Well, now I broke 2 big roots off of it. It would have been a pound if I'd had them. But see, that's what it was is all tangled up so bad, you know.
Yeah.
That I broke them roots off trying to get it out, you know.
Those water roots. That
Yeah.
You got to get all that
Yeah.
on.
But now it had 5 big roots, and I think I broke off 2, which it
Aw.
made 7, you know.
Yeah.
But I believe it would have weighed a pound, you
You
know.
got to kind of take your hand and when you get to it and work that out
Yeah,
real easy
yeah,
because
yeah.
every little bit of that counts.
But now one time, me and my buddy, we went to a place called Same Branch down in Walden's Creek.
Uh-huh.
And we got down there and we went way back in there somewhere. And I'm telling you, buddy, we was in there deep, and it was starting to get dark on us. It was getting late, you know. And buddy, I looked, and so help me, there was big balls of red berries about that big,
Yes, that's
in
always
perfectly alignment,
Wow.
just like corn, like you planted corn, you know.
Wow.
And a tornado had come through there, a small tornado, and it broke the tops of them walnut trees out. There's little small walnuts, not big at all, but it broke the tops of them things out. So I imagine every bird in the country roosted in them tops, you know.
Yeah.
But now anyway, that thing I hollered at my buddy. I said, buddy, come on down. He said, what have you found? He thought I found a big rattlesnake or something there, you know. I said, buddy, I found the awfulest patch of ginseng you ever seen in your life. He said, well, dig her, buddy. We better get out of here, you know. I said, Charlie, what I'm looking at, one man can't dig.
Wow.
I said, it'll take both of us hard as we can
bet.
go to dig at.
You
So
can go,
he
Dee.
come down, he come down and got the digging, and I got the notice, and he didn't put it in a sack or nothing. He just laid it down on something white or something. He had a shirt or something there. And I said, Charlie, what are you doing? He said, buddy, I'm helping you dig your same. I said, Charlie, now listen, I want to tell you something. What you dig is yours, and what I dig is mine. I said, the thing about it is, buddy, all these years I've sung with you, I said, you won't even let me buy you a pop or no gas or nothing. I said, you've been so good to me, buddy. I said, you bought my beanie weenies, my beanies, cracker, everything. And I said, man, what you dig is yours.
Wow.
No, I won't have it that way. I said, we're going to have it that way. I said, we're going to have it that way this time. So he beat me 1 pound.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you all had enough that it just.
Yeah, I dug, what was it? I believe it was 12 pounds and 13 ounces. And he dug 13 pounds.
Was that dry?
Huh?
Was that while it was dry, or was it wet?
No,
when
it
you
was
planted?
wet. It's still wet
Wow,
then.
so
That,
yeah.
yeah.
Still a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. But now I told him, I said, Charlie, before we dig any of this, let's go home and get a camera. I said, because
Yeah.
we never will see nothing like this
No,
again as long as
no.
we live. I said, no matter where we at.
No.
And he said, buddy, said we
Not
beat
now.
a D4 trail in here. Said,
No.
said we beat a bulldozer trail in here. Said we go home, come back here, it won't be nothing
No.
else. Said somebody get it every bit.
Yep.
So he
Yeah.
taught me right into digging. Thing about him, he did take pictures of everything he dug.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was unreal. He and his cousin went over, they had always heard about Missouri having a lot of sing, and they loaded up early one morning, I think maybe at midnight or something, headed over there, and they got at McDonald's just when it opened, and about 5 o'clock in the morning, and they said it's daylight there kind of. And they said they looked over at McDonald's fence and saw the awfulest 4 prongs you ever seen in
my
your life. And he said, Darrell, said, you see what I see? And Darrell said, I sure do. Gobble that food down so we can get in there, buddy. And he said they drove around the back of the McDonald's somewhere down a little country road and asked the feller, that feller owned every bit of that in there. They said, buddy, we'd like to go in your ginseng. He said, there ain't nothing in here, but you go right ahead, you know. They went in there and they purely grubbed it. I'm going to tell you, yeah. I think they dug like 30 pounds a piece or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's because it's never been
And I
touched.
mean, yeah, never been touched.
Oh.
He said they dug so long, said they got so tired on their knees, you know, digging, that it just about killed them, buddy. So they had to get up and kind of take breaks occasionally, you know.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they get gold too.
But now he had pictures of everything he talked about, you know.
Yeah,
He
wow.
had the pictures. When I tell you I had 80 rattlesnakes at one time, I ain't got no pictures of that, you know. So
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. You wouldn't see me sitting here.
I caught a great old big one down in the White Oak and brought it here, and I had a wooden porch then. I had it under my porch. People kind of
JD.
step on that porch and that thing, I get to buzzing, they get to
Oh, my
looking and jumping around.
goodness, No way.
It scare 'em, yeah, it
You
scare
would
'em,
have caught me
yeah.
on this porch. They wouldn't be no way.
Yeah. It'd scare them, that big
Oh,
big
my.
rattler, buddy. He had a big string of rattlers on it too, a big black one.
Oh, my
It would go a buzzing. You could hear it up to my sisters
So
from here.
you was a rattlesnake man too.
Oh, I
huh?
caught a bunch of them. I caught them.
Telling you.
One guy from Pike County wanted every rattlesnake we could get, and we met him at a place down at Pineville, and he had a little snake pit beside the road, and he had rattlesnakes and stuff in there and copperheads too, you know. Now mostly rattlesnakes, and he asked us how many we have, and my buddy said, well, we've got 80. He said, buddy, said 80 rattlesnakes? He said, them things can't be rare. Said, they can't be rare. Said, you come in here with 80, said, they rare? Said, they can't be. Said, how many copperheads you got? I think we had about 50. He said, I'll take every one of them copperheads, but them old rattlesnakes I don't want, so they can't be rare. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he can't be rare.
What's the biggest old rattlesnake you saw in this mountains?
The biggest one I ever saw was way down on Beach Fork, about 16 miles down. Now I ginsenged in there pretty hard. I'd heard about the lost patch of sang had been there, and a lot of people had been in there looking for it. Nobody never could find it, and I thought I could find that patch of sang, you know. So I went in there, and I didn't. I just found a little bit, you know, and I headed out there. And when I did, I got on a small cliff there. And when I got on that small cliff, I looked and seen the awfulest black rattler you ever laid your eyes on, buddy. And I said, man, I'm a-catching that. I said, that's the biggest I ever seen in my life. I'm a-catching that, and it's going home with me, you know. And buddy, I got down there trying to hunt me a stick to cut where I could put a fork on it, you know, and to hold it down to where I could get it, you know. And when I did that, I looked and seen that thing about that much of its tail hanging out under a big root hole. And I said, well, I'm going to lose it, you know. But now the best I can remember, its rattlers was 1 inch wide. So that tells you about how big the rattler was. But now it didn't have many on it, 4 or 5. It didn't have many at all. It broke them off or shattered them, you know. Now up at Tots, I run into a big den up there once too. A big old den back in there. And what it was, I was ginsenging one of my first cousins, and we got back in there, and he said, Darrell, said, I've run into some of the prettiest black snakes you ever seen in your life. And I said, he said, they in a den here. I said, Clark, you better look again. I said, black snakes don't den, buddy. I said, they don't do that, you know. He got to look and he said, Lord have mercy on black rattlers, you know. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
they're everywhere, you know.
Black snakes.
Yeah, black
Oh,
snakes. I
man.
got my office back a bunch of black snakes you ever seen in your life. I said, Clark, I want to tell you something, buddy. Black snakes don't den. They don't do that. I said, rattlers do that, you know.
noticed them black snakes making a lot of noise.
Yeah. But now the thing about it is there wasn't a copperhead one there. I think they had ate the copperheads, maybe to live, you know. Yeah. But now there wasn't a copperhead one in that. That was the only true den I ever seen was solid rattlesnakes, you know.
Now, how do they den? Like you're saying they den. What do they?
Yeah,
Under rocks?
they usually get under a big if you
cliff?
find a cliff that's got moss on it, don't waste no time. There ain't nothing there. But now they want a slick cliff where the sun hits the first thing of the morning and stays there all
That's what I've
day.
always heard, it's like cliff rock.
Yeah, it stays there all day till the time it
But if it's
go.
got moss on it, that means shade, right?
It means shade, and it means they ain't gonna. They tell me they get belly rot around a place like that.
belly rot.
Belly rot, that moss kind of, you know.
So they got to have heat.
They gotta have heat,
on that
yeah.
rock.
Gotta have heat from the rock, you know.
Well, I know where to avoid.
Well, that's beautiful, JD. We didn't know you could play.
The circle will be unbroken.
Didn't know you could play. Hey folks, from JD Napier's in Harlan County, Harlan County's very own blacksmith. We want to thank you guys for coming with us again to visit JD. What do we say at the end of these videos, Mrs. Coyote? Bye.
Bye.
God bless you guys.
My mind's still right into these project things. This big anvil was made and dedicated to all the blacksmiths of the world.
When I was a little girl, Dad would shine a flashlight on the anvil, and he would say, one day I'm going to build the world's largest anvil.
Hey folks, we're in Harlan County in the Pine Mountain community of Bledsoe, Kentucky. And you may remember this anvil from our biggest video, which featured certainly our most beloved personality we ever had in a video, JD Napier, the man who made it. This is the world's largest working anvil. That's right, you could forge on it right now if you wanted to. It's solid all the way through, and it's a working anvil. JD also, among the many things he made this water wheel, which is a beautiful work of art. Well, JD is having some major health issues, and we'd like to ask you folks to send him some cards and letters, let him know just how special he is to us all, and drop him a line. I know he will appreciate it. He is so appreciative of all the views the video we did of him talking about his anvil has, and he is amazed at the wonderful comments you guys made on that video. So if you can, let him hear from you. We will pin the information. We will pin the contact information for him in the comment section of this video, and we will put it in the information section of this video. Now, we did 2 videos with him. The one on the anvil, the people just had such amazing response to, and we did another video sitting on front porch talking to him. We will put at the end of this video links to both of those so you can visit with JD. Now, we're going to go in and visit with the Appalachian blacksmith, JD Napier, and talk to him for a few minutes. And please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And right here is the man himself, the Appalachian blacksmith, JD Napier, the man who made the world's largest working anvil. JD, how you feeling? How you doing with your health? We know you've had some issues.
We improving a little bit each and every day, but it's slow. I want it to be a little faster so I can get back to the forge and start smithing again, you know. Start making some stuff, you know. But now, right now, it's just going slow. I can take about 5 steps, and that's about it, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're looking good. Your color looks good. And
well, thank you.
You're doing better.
Doing better.
And you know, the first video we did with you about the anvil, it's got well over 600,000 views. It will be, I know, our first million-view video in a little while.
That'll be great.
Look at that smile.
Well, it's you that did it. You know, we've did what, 300 some, 500. We did a few hundred videos. We've did a few hundred videos, and yours is only one that's got over 600,000 views. So I think that's got a lot to do with you, JD.
Yes.
Yeah, praise the Lord.
You're
Yeah.
loved.
So the comments you got, on the video, incredible. You had people from Belgium, from England, I think from Germany. I believe there's a guy from Russia. I believe, I'm not sure.
I believe a couple of guys come here from
Wow.
Louisiana.
yeah.
Louisiana.
Yes.
Yeah. Louisiana. And yeah, it's just so well received, people. And the comments are so nice. People really seen what kind of man you was and really appreciated it and made. And you know, there's blacksmiths from Europe that commented in their kinship to you and their brotherhood to you. Wow. And it's just amazing. I hope you realize how much, you know, all over the world you're respected and loved by folks.
Right.
And I believe some folks will probably send you some cards, you know, and
Say hello.
Well, now what we actually want to do sometime is just say this big anvil was made and dedicated to all the blacksmiths of the world.
Oh, yeah.
you do. Well, we will say that right here, right now, that you dedicated that anvil to all the blacksmiths.
All the blacksmiths of the world. Yeah.
Their spirit is the spirits of all the blacksmiths of the world is in that anvil.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And we appreciate so many things you've done over the years. Your son-in-law was telling me outside when I was talking to him that ever since he knew you, you've had a project going. You was doing something.
Yeah.
But we're really happy to hear that you're feeling some better with your health. Because we know you've had some serious issues with it and wasn't feeling good for a while.
Yeah, feeling plumb bad. Yeah,
Your daughter told us you had a rough September, but it's October now and you're doing better.
yeah,
That's
doing a little
right.
better. Yeah, yeah.
Well, we love you, JD. You're my son sent word. You know, he's never met you, but me and him sat up all night editing that first video because I'd shot it with 2 cameras before I knew exactly what I was doing with 2 cameras.
Right.
So it took 2 people to edit it.
Right.
And he said after setting up and listening to JD there and working on that video, said I feel like I knew him. So I feel like I grew up with him.
How
He's
about that?
such a wonderful personality, and he
I
said
like
to tell
that.
you.
Yeah.
He said to send his best wishes to you, and he's
Yeah.
praying for you.
You tell him I said thanks, buddy. Thanks
And-
a million. Yeah.
Oh, well, you just did. He'll be watching this. You just thank him.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's going to be people watch this video and be praying for you. And, you know, I believe in the power of prayer. And you're going to have a lot of folks watches this all over the
Oh,
world
yeah,
going to
yeah.
pray for you.
Right, right.
But we love you, and we really appreciate that
No,
you.
get that little thing over there, got that little heart in it, the metal heart, and show them that. I don't think I ever showed them that. Did I ever show you the little hearts I done?
I don't think so.
I don't think I've ever showed that to you. Sure don't.
Oh,
Of course,
my
they all
goodness.
start out like that right there.
They start out like this.
Right. Then we shape them like that. Let's see now. There's one start of the fork. I mean the heart.
Oh my!
There's another.
Look at that. That's
That
beautiful.
is beautiful.
And what we do is put this on it, you know.
Oh.
Rivet it on there. Yeah. And make a bend in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you can see I've got quite a few of them made up.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's an unfinished project, right, Dad?
Huh?
An unfinished project, right?
Yeah, I'm finished, yeah.
He loves, you can tell he loves his
There's
work.
one a little bit bigger, and it's done flattened out ready for the holes to put the rivets in,
Wow.
you know. And we'll put one like that on it, a little bit bigger. Now also we'll heat this right here and make a twist in it,
Yeah.
and heat it down here and make 2 twists in it. You know, the one that's big like that long, we'll make 2 twists in it, you know, so. But now we want to go to this size right here a little bit later down the road.
Wow. Look at that. A little heavier.
Yeah, and that will start it out the same way I showed you the lip one started out. You know, the
Wow.
flat piece of metal.
Now, did you make the spoon?
No,
Is
this
that
this
kinda-
some I
oh,
bought
okay.
because I liked how they was bent,
Yeah.
and we were wanting
So
to
you
use
wanting
them.
to get up to this size?
Yeah, we was wanting to use them as a pattern.
Wow.
And of course, I gave you one of these, I think.
Yes,
Yes,
I
yes.
love that. I have it in my kitchen. I put my aprons on this and towels. I love it.
Now there's a little coffee scoop I made years ago, and
Oh,
that's solid copper.
it is.
Your mind's always on doing something, ain't it?
Oh yeah,
Always got
yeah.
your
Yes.
mind on work.
Even when I'm down like right now, my mind's still right into these project things. See, that there's less laid back,
Uh-huh.
more straighter, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll just. But now these are not real hard. You can take them and bend them in kind of any shape you want to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you don't get the right shape on this to model that either, then you can
That's your model.
rebend it.
Now,
Yeah, it's
this
kind
is,
of a model.
You came up with this hearts.
Right.
That is so nice.
The heart, I showed you the first step of that. Let's
First
see.
step
Well, it's a
is
fork.
this.
Right there's
Okay.
one twisted. And we got some in here not twisted.
So it looks like this, and then you turn it into the heart,
Turn
right?
it into a heart, yeah.
Wow.
That's just amazing.
It
I
is.
appreciate you so much. Taking time to show us this stuff. Are there ever a time you're not thinking about making something?
So even sitting here, you're thinking what you could make.
Buddy, yeah.
I
yeah.
just love you, JD.
Yeah, even when my daughters is here, my mind's continually going on something.
Wow,
Kind of a
that's great.
Right now, every one of these is sold if I just start feeling good enough to put them together. I mean, they're done sold, you know.
Oh yes.
Dad, you told him the vision of the anvil whenever I was a little girl. Dad he's a collector of anvils, and when I was a little girl, Dad would shine a flashlight on the anvil, and he would say, one day I'm going to build the world's largest anvil. And so he kind of dreamed it up. So we joke, and I say, Dad, you're like Joseph in the Bible. You're the man of many dreams. But that's kind of how the vision of the anvil started, is whenever I was little, he would shine a flashlight and he'd say, one day I'm going to make that anvil. You see that shadow, how big it is? And he dreamed it up, and it came to fruition.
Wow.
Yep, so.
I love that. I love that story.
I want to tell you something. You're the best example of a Harlan County gentleman and a Harlan County mountain man I've ever met in my life.
Thank you, buddy.
You are. If somebody on the other side of the world wanted me to show them a Harlan County gentleman, I'd show them JD Napier.
Well, now I appreciate that. I sure do.
I still remember sitting on the porch here last year and you telling us your ginseng stories of ginseng and stuff. You just,
Man,
listen.
I've dug a lot of big ginseng.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody could listen to you a lifetime. And we've had people comment and talk about the wisdom that they could learn listening to you.
How about that?
Well, we love you, JD. We're not going to tar you out and wear you out. We'll come back when you're feeling better and let you tell some more stories all day long.
We'll do that, buddy. I've got gobs of them, bunches of them.
We love to hear them, and everybody else
And I know
does, too.
everybody is going to want to update on your health, so
Yeah.
we'll be talking some more about you, and we'll come back and see you here really soon, because it's wonderful knowing you. You don't get a chance often to tell people how important they are to you.
Right.
Meeting you and getting to know you and listening to your wisdom is one of the high points of my life, and I
Well,
appreciate
thank
you
God
so
for
much.
that.
God bless you.
Yeah, thank God for that.
We love you, JD.
Yeah, we love you all too.
Well, we love you, JD.
Now you tell me when you get ready to say goodbye and I'll join you.
Okay.
Say bye.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
Okay,
Now,
JD.
Hey, what do we say? You want to join us and say it? Yeah, just say bye when we do. JD knows. He's done
He
it twice
does. He
before.
knows.
He's no pro.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
think
there you
that.
go. Yeah, he don't need a microphone here.
Okay.
What do we say, sweetheart, at the end of these videos?
Bye.
What do we say, JD? Bye. God bless you, folks.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and God bless JD Napier. And thank the Lord for his friendship in our lives.